Well, guys, apparently there's some big news that's come out today in regards to Donald Trump getting hacked. Like, apparently his campaign was hacked or something. I haven't looked deep into this story myself yet, but people have been requesting that I cover it, and I went ahead and set it aside, and I was like, all right, let's see if it's interesting. This is a Midas Touch video. Now, I don't hate Midas Touch, but I do think that while they're playing the YouTube game, a lot of their coverage is, like, it feels a bit inflated for time. And if you're just watching it for the entertainment and, like, news aspect of it, it's fine. That's even ideal for them. But if I'm trying to get, like, news coverage to commentate on, it's not ideal. So I usually don't do clips from Midas Touch on stream, you know? However, this one, I did scan a little bit, and it looks good. It seems like it's just some solid, like, reporting on the situation. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a pass here. Here we've got the Midas Touch video. I don't know what went down with this. I don't know how bad this is for Trump. I can't imagine anything could really harm Trump that much at this point in the election, especially with how dedicated his supporters are. Like, anything negative you out about Trump is just going to make his remaining supporters go, based? Base department? That's how his supporters go when you expose anything awful about him. So we'll see if it's anything really all that severe, or maybe it's going to be a speed bump for Trump and Elon in their attempts to get into office. Because if you don't know, Trump has promised Elon a place in government if he wins the election. So it's not just about Trump winning the election. Elon is also essentially trying to win the election too. So let's hop right in and see what this is all about.
For Legal AF and the Midas Touch Network. Now, here's some election fraud we can all get behind. It appears that Donald Trump's campaign and Elon Musk and his hundreds of millions of dollars have been hacked by...
Zan, I forgot. What's your thoughts on the Washington Post? The Washington Post can, like, basically, like, get deep-dicked for all I care. I low-key hate the Washington Post. Aren't they in, like, some deep shit right now for being awful? Every time I try to read something from the Washington Post, I get hit with, like, pay us to read this. So, there's my opinion.
Their own vote canvassers and door knockers who are supposed to be being paid by the door to get out the vote in the battleground states, but have figured out a way using GPS spoofing, we'll talk about that in a minute, to sit in the comfort of their local Starbucks, get paid for knocking on doors they didn't knock on. And
dude, how are you going to be a Trump supporter and want this dude to win? But then you, like, you sign up to canvass, and then you fake canvassing to get a free paycheck from the guy you want to win. You know, to be fair, the fact that, like, Trump attracts like-minded people, those that don't care about anyone else and will do anything to get ahead for themselves, like selfish narcissist type people... No wonder Trump hasn't won an election since 2016 when you consider the fact that his own supporters can't be mobilized to do anything that isn't just for themselves. If there's any way they could sabotage Trump for their own well-being, they would. We talk about them like they're sycophantic, like, worshippers of Trump, but that's not really the case. They're just a lot like Trump, and they see a lot of themselves in Trump. If they could fuck over Trump for themselves to benefit, they would in a heartbeat. They don't actually worship him or consider him a god. They just do in the sense that him being in power means their behavior, their ideas, their beliefs get enforced by the federal government, and they get normalized by the president engaging in behavior that was once considered beyond taboo.
And as a result, you've got, according to the campaign itself and Elon Musk itself, you have at least 30% of the people who were supposed to have been contacted by these door knockers in Arizona and Nevada, at least, not having been contacted. Yet the canvassers being paid by the Musk campaign. We're down to just a couple of weeks left in the campaign. This is no time for a major misstep like wasting 30% of your money and also checking off in your log somebody.
Dude, I don't even know what the Trump campaign could do about this, though, right? Like, they need canvassers. Canvassing in the final weeks is so important. Like, they need canvassers. They have to pay their canvassers. So, like, what what can they even do? Can they, like, all they could really do is try to hire software engineers to fix this issue with their GPS spoofing. But you can always spoof a GPS location. It's really easy. I used to do it for Pokemon Go. Back when I was a kid, I would cheat in Pokemon Go, by the way. I would use GPS spoofer to, like, go to other countries that I couldn't go to physically. But yeah, like, it's pretty easy to do. So they just have to stop using GPS to verify the canvassers doing their work, I guess. Like, I don't know what their solution could be here. They're just kind of getting played, and they have no choice but to either keep taking that loss and letting those people do that, or to stop their canvassing op, I guess. Like, they can't stop canvassing. They need canvassers. That's important. Like, left or right, you need to be canvassing in these final weeks. It's massively vital. People don't forget shit they were told in these final weeks before the election, but they will forget shit that a canvasser told them 3 or 6 months ago.
Some voter that you thought was actually contacted who was not contacted because somebody went for a double cappuccino at Starbucks. Now, let me show you there, so you don't think I'm making it up, that we have the receipts. We have a video that's gone around the internet that shows you exactly, or shows an actual canvasser or door knocker hired by Elon Musk how to fake the actual door knock using GPS spoofing technology. And listen to, when you listen to this video, listen to how just sort of...
It's not like GPS spoofing technology. It's an app. You just download an app and you just put in a location and click it, and it makes your phone GPS think you're there. And if that's being tracked, then whatever app is tracking it would see you as in that location.
Kind of weary and nonchalant the guy is in teaching the hack. Well, then you just kind of push this button here, and then you go back to the other app, and then you plug in the house number, and then
What's funny about it is, do you think they were using a GPS spoofer that was just teleporting them to every address, or were they using, like, in a coffee shop, using a GPS spoofer with, like, the ability to walk around with a, like, joystick type thing? Because some apps have that. So the smart way would be to spoof your location by faking steps and walking to each house, because then your GPS, like, it's indistinguishable. But if they're doing it the lazy way and just teleporting their GPS to every, like, address that they're supposed to knock on, then it's really easy to catch them spoofing their GPS that way. But if they're in a coffee shop playing the GPS location like a video game, that's hard to prove. That's hard to it's hard to prove it's happening, and B, it's hard to prove someone did it to, like, ban them from the canvassing op, because you view them as just like a money sink.
Then you get your coffee, and that's how you hack and get paid. Election interference I can get behind. Let's roll the video.
All right, so here we get after you log in, you go click a walkbook. I'm gonna show you. You got a list like this when you log in. You just click whatever, and then the house is gonna be like this. You gotta knock all the orange houses. These are all these numbers are houses you gotta complete. So if you just go here, this location changer app.
I love how, like, Trump canvassers, you can just tell from the map here, they're knocking on, like, $1 million houses. You notice that, right? Like, they're, like, the area where they have set to canvas is in this brick of green, and if you know what that is from the sky, it's golf courses. They're golf courses. These are houses that are, like, $1 million houses plus on golf course land. Like, that is the wealthiest area in that city. Those are the doors the canvassers are knocking on to get votes for Trump. Interesting.
The way I do it is I just memorize, where the house is at. So,
yeah, look at those golf courses. Look at those golf courses. Yeah, these are $1 million houses. You can tell from their size. And these golf courses, like, this is the rich people part of the city. You can see it from the sky, bro.
These houses down here looks the same way on the map. So, you just move that shit over there. Or you could type the address in, but this is way faster. See? So I just move.
They are just teleporting there. Yeah, this is easy to catch, actually. They just have to check for people that are popping around locations on the GPS. If they were smart, they'd be using one of the GPS spoofers that has like a left, right, down, up arrow on it that you could like fake walking to these locations with, because otherwise this has got to be trackable and easy to figure out who's doing this. There's no way within like 2 days they can't solve this problem unless they start doing it the way I described, in which case it would probably be unsolvable if they did it like that.
Other house is right there, change my location right there. And so here's the part where you need where it matters. So you click the house, you want to do not home for about 5 houses. So you click the not home shit, left literature, boom.
Hey, chat, how awful would it be if you guys signed up to canvass for Donald Trump and then used a GPS spoofer to fake canvassing and not actually do it while marking off places that they would have otherwise door knocked and then to collect a paycheck for it? Wouldn't that be awful to do, guys? You guys should not do that. That would be so fucked up to enrich yourselves off of harming Trump's campaign, and it's as simple as signing up for the canvassing ops for Trump and like using an app on your phone to fake your location, ideally one that uses a like touchpad to let you walk around places. Man, you guys really shouldn't do that, because it would be easy money and it would really hurt Trump's campaign. It's really wrong and a bad thing to do, and I could never, ever endorse that behavior, and I could never recommend you guys do that. I hope none of you, not a single one, dares to engage in such an immoral act against such a good man like Donald Trump. Never. Don't even consider it, chat. Don't even think about doing that. Not even a little.
Okay, and then you want to put a survey in. So this is the survey. So you click available for survey. This is what I do. I click definitely yes. Donald Trump, early vote, no, and survey. So it's pretty much that simple. So and then you go, you just keep bouncing between houses, and you don't want to go too fast. You want to make it look as realistic.
Now that's going around the internet, but more particularly, it's going around all the people that are hired by Musk's America PAC, wasting its money. Thank you. Every dollar that's spent on something they thought happened that didn't happen is one more dollar advantage to Kamala Harris. Now, Elon Musk. First of all, I'm on notice. I'm putting everybody on notice that I believe that this may have been the straw that broke the camel's back. Finally, this to be the undoing of Donald Trump. This last-minute decision to effectively outsource to Elon Musk the entirety of Donald Trump's get out the vote.
I don't necessarily think that's the case. Donald Trump and his campaign wouldn't have handled it any better. I think this is just a great example of how those among Trump's own supporters see an opportunity to help him get elected as an opportunity to enrich themselves. And if it hurts Trump, they don't care if it makes them money. Just seems that way. It's just, this is what happens when your political campaign markets itself to narcissists and losers like-minded to Trump. People will do this type of stuff within your supporter base. That's just how it is.
Vote campaign in battleground states. There's no other way to put it. Donald Trump thinks he can buy himself an election, and Elon Musk thinks he can buy himself a president. And I'll talk about that in a minute. The reasons why Elon Musk wants to buy a president for his own net worth value, his own.
He's also promised a position in government, which allows him to have input on how government regulates his businesses, and it can affect his bottom line in a lot of ways.
Fortune purposes. Get rid of the SEC, get rid of the IRS, get rid of the State Department, get rid of the Department of Defense, and let Elon Musk just do whatever the heck he wants. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that unholy alliance is starting to pay dividends for democracy because Elon Musk doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know how to put this any better. I've seen the Cybertruck. I also don't think he knows what he's doing. I know people that own Teslas.
Dude, seeing all the Teslas and Cybertrucks flooded in Florida after Hurricane Helene and Milton is fucking crazy, dude. Those things, they don't run on water, or they aren't like aquatic like Elon promised they would be. They get all kinds of fucked up by hurricanes.
I've never been that impressed, but at least he knows how to
Apparently, a bunch of Teslas caught fire and exploded too. By the way, a lot of different Tesla vehicles caught fire and exploded because of the flooding and the hurricanes in Florida. That was that was pretty funny.
Build the truck and apparently knows how to put a rocket, towards Mars. But running an election, the guy voted for the first time, I think 4 years ago. And in the last 20 days, you just throw the key.
Oh, say goodbye to NASA forever, dude. If Elon gets, or if Trump gets elected and Elon gets put in government, they will do everything in their power to destroy NASA and finally finish off privatizing all of space exploration and space industry in America. They, oh God, absolutely no public space exploration ever again if Trump wins, because Biden's whole thing, or not Biden, fucking Elon's whole thing is he wants, he benefits from the privatization of that sector. So no NASA, no further working together with other countries to do another ISS, all privatized, all private industry. That is the future of American space travel if Trump wins, because that's Elon's goal.
Keys to your entire get out the vote drive to a guy who's never gotten out the vote before. I mean, I know Donald Trump, the vast majority of all of his businesses have failed. All of them. Trump Steaks, Trump Airlines, Trump Ties, infomercials, phone cards, you name it.
You got to remember, Trump's not this savvy businessman he's made out to be. He inherited his father's empire, and it was such a massive empire that it's easy for him to fail at it and still be so much more successful than anyone else that he looks like he's winning. But he's actually just failing. He's not a good businessman, it turns out. He's really not. If you deep dive into that shit, he's not all that impressive. He inherited a lot, but he's actually just kind of weakening that empire that he inherited from his father.
Casinos all failed. The only thing that's ever been reasonably successful is his time on The Celebrity, and he didn't completely own that show. And that's about it. And a couple of projects he inherited from his father, and then throwing his name on a bunch of things in the Arab world. That's sort of Donald Trump's business record. Elon, so I know he's enamored with, people that can do something in an entrepreneurial way, and Elon Musk seems to fit the bill. But Elon Musk is terrible when he's not in his own wheelhouse, when he's not talking about a car or a rocket, and he's trying to run a social media platform.
Man, I used to think this too. I used to think Elon had an area in which he could speak and sound like he knows what he's talking about, but he really doesn't. Elon's not an engineer. He's not a scientist. He's not, there is nothing, not even the realm of business, is he an expert on it. He's not an expert at anything. There's nothing he can speak about and sound like he knows what he's talking about. Elon doesn't have a wheelhouse. He doesn't. His only wheelhouse is lying and overpromising. That is literally how he got to where he is today. And now with the whole right-wing spiral and the fact that more and more people are starting to realize that he's a liar and overpromiser, he's losing that. Elon's pivot towards being a right-wing pundit is partially to keep his relevance. Elon was slowly but surely losing that perception as the modern-day Iron Man with every new overhyped release of his products. A company as overvalued as Tesla, for example, can only lie and not deliver so much before people start to stop overvaluing it. SpaceX, for example, can only lie about how long until we go to Mars before people start to be like, is this guy really for real? Because we were supposed to be on Mars over a decade ago now, according to him. It's it's getting a little insane how long it's been delayed. But what can I say? People still love him, at least in some capacity.
Platform, which is the closest equivalent to a voter campaign, he's done terribly. He's done worse than Truth Social. But Donald Trump is desperate because he never had a ground game. While Donald Trump and all of his sleeper cell of crazies have been trying to worm their way into election offices and canvassing boards and election boards, the Democrats are doing the ground game. Biden was doing the ground game. It inherited from Obama. We know how to micro campaign. We know how to find that super voter in that little micro band of demographics. We know how to knock on doors. We've got people who are physically human beings knocking on doors. I know this is a surprise to a lot of people, depending upon your age, but in 2024, you still got to ask people for their vote. You still got to knock on a door. You can't use a drone or
This is why you should sign up for a canvassing operation. If you live in a swing state especially, it's not too late. You can sign up and canvass. There's a reason why this is a big story for the Republicans. Canvassing is going harder than ever right now. The final weeks before the election is when people really hold on to the things that they've been told about the election. If you can speak to the right person at this time, now is the right time. Now is the time when you can say something that'll stick with them when they go to the ballot box.
Or a robot, or even an ad or a social media campaign. You got to do that too. But you got to knock on doors with a clipboard and a smile, even if it slams in your face. You got to be on telephone banks, making phone calls, even if 80% of them slam the door on you or the phone on you. You got to do that. That's how it works. That's how you earn the vote. There's an old joke in advertising which applies to campaigns, which is at least 1/2 of an advertising budget for a campaign is completely wasted. Completely wasted. We just don't know which half. Same thing here in campaigning.
I wonder where that goes. Like, wasted. It doesn't go, like, does it just go to paying, like, the politicians or something? I don't even know.
But you got to have a ground game. Donald Trump never had a ground game. He didn't build any field offices.
Is that with the Republicans and Democrats? Half of campaign funds go to waste? Wasted as in it's ineffective. Oh, in this case? Okay, it's just a weird way to word it. I don't know. I don't know. I interpreted that weird.
He was busy doing big rallies. Yay, I can win this with big commercials. Except every time he's had an opportunity to do something big and get a lot of eyeballs on him, he's passed. 60 Minutes interview, first time in 56 years.
I want to cover this tomorrow, but it's basically impossible to cover because Joe Rogan is basically a copyright abuser. Like, outright, basically a copyright abuser. If you cover, no matter how transformative, any Joe Rogan stuff, he will auto-claim your stuff, and you have to dispute it with his team through YouTube, and maybe even go to court if you want to not have it be suppressed, demonetized, or even get a strike for reacting to his stuff. So Donald Trump went on Joe Rogan, and I would love to cover it, but every time I've ever covered Joe Rogan, the videos themselves get blocked worldwide because Joe Rogan and his team copyright strike anything that uses his content. Mind you, using someone else's IP is still allowed as long as it counts as transformative.
Years, the other candidate for the presidency didn't appear on 60 Minutes. Pass. Donald Trump. As a kid, I loved eating cereal, but as an adult, I don't.
All right, we made it to the sponsor. That's probably where the brunt of the story is anyway, to be fair. Anyway, though, man, I don't think any of you should do the immoral action of using a GPS spoofer to fake canvassing for Donald Trump, effectively marking off houses that have never been knocked on as having been spoken to and convinced to vote Trump and making money off of doing that, both harming his campaign and taking money from Trump and Elon. That would be horrible. Don't do that, guys. Like, what the fuck? That's so fucked, guys. You shouldn't do that. Like, what the hell? Like, oh my God. Like, don't do that, guys. Like, don't do it. Don't. Anyway, with all that said, if you enjoyed this video, found it educational, entertaining, or even enjoyable, then please consider dropping a like. It's totally free, and every single thumbs up, whether it be on a video, a VOD, or one of my live streams like right now, boosts my channel in the algorithm, forcing YouTube to show my content in real time to new people, new viewers, and it really, really means a lot. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who hits that button, as to everybody who drops a comment as well. They compound the benefit of likes, and they let me know what you think of the videos. And perhaps even consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon to turn on all notifications so YouTube actually tells you when I go live or upload a new video, because if you don't, they won't. You can also follow my social medias, linked down below in the description as well, if you haven't already, to see more from me on other platforms, including joining my fan Discord, which is the main hub of my community and fan base. I announce all my new uploads and streams there, and at least once a week I host a game event, call-in stream, or watch party there. And so if you want to be a part of the main community, that's the place to be. Don't miss it. Finally, if you got the money for it and you feel like it, and you want to help me keep the lights on and a roof above my head here at the Xander Hall studio, then consider donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, xanderhall.com/live, or support me financially through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Patreon, or buying merch at the Streamlabs link down below. Regardless, thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.